we will explore the potential of regenerative models and to empower creative industry. So we will try to ignite a dialogue around how this natural scope and how we can take over all of these issues we have regarding circularity by enhancing it with collaboration.
Which we promote circular economy, creates a closed loop system where materials are continuously reused, recycled, repurposed. And this means that we need to design products with recycling in mind. And when we look at the regenerative models, circularity and regenerative models going hand in hand, we can reduce waste and minimize our negative impact on environment by designing products that can be repurposed. We can use regenerative materials, production processes, and regenerative models could go beyond circularity by actively working to restore and regenerate natural resources and ecosystems. Specifically on circularity and regenerative models in the fashion industry, we encourage the use of regenerative materials and practices. We worked with artisans, designers that use regenerative models in their production processes, and provide educational resources about regenerative and circular models of both production and consumption in fashion. And we also support the use of zero waste production techniques. And now,
did you guys know that we are actually responsible for producing 1 gigaton per year right now? That's like crazy. And as we all know, the fashion industry is growing, the textile industry is growing, so logically this means that those numbers will increase. And it's estimated that by 2030, which means in just 7 years, this will reach 1.6 gigatons. All right, so next interesting number, we have that 35% of materials, oh, so sorry about those noises. 35% of those materials, textile materials, are wasted through the supply chain, usually through like transportation, so logistics, unsold stock, false monitoring, design changes, etc., etc. There are so many change makers out there working on all of this, right? So this is our cycle. This is what we're looking at. So of course we can tackle this at any point, but right now we're just going to focus very shortly on the very beginning and the end. So, raw material and disposal. So
que se unían mis grandes intereses, que son la sustentabilidad y el diseño textil. Se me planteaban varias preguntas porque no entendía cómo la gente no ve un recurso en los desechos y cómo no todo el mundo está trabajando con biomateriales. O sea, como que me sigo preguntando, ¿cómo no todas las en mi ciudad? Porque uno de los principales conceptos de los biomateriales son los desechos de cercanía, a partir de los desechos botánicos que ellos desechaban, yo hacía todo un proceso, hago todo un proceso natural para convertirlos en estas planchas de biocuero. Me pasaba lo siguiente, después de experimentar, yo necesitaba que esto realmente sea un negocio para poder llevarlo a cabo y no que quede en algo de laboratorio o académico. Entonces me propuse seriar el proceso y estandarizarlo y poder lograr un paño de biocuero vendible a otros diseñadores que puedan ellos poner el diseño y lograr un producto listo para usar. Me parece que el cambio es ahora y me parecía que era un buen producto para ya ponerlo a vender. Entonces, bueno, empecé y dije, voy a empezar y voy a contagiar a otros y si además logro que me vaya bien económicamente, van a seguir varios por este camino. Empecé a darle la importancia que tienen las alianzas para lograr productos como esta cartera. Ahí van a ver los botánicos desechados por la industria de la destilería, a la izquierda el paño de biocuero que hago yo y después en el medio la cartera que está hecha de esos desechos e implementado en un diseño listo para usarse. Y lo más importante de los biocueros es que además se puede compostar. O sea, es un producto que todo tu proceso de compra no afectó a nadie. O sea, salió del desecho, reemplaza materiales contaminantes como el plástico o el cuero, la cuerina, y además lo puedes compostar. Bueno, empecé a ver cómo podía agilizar el proceso, hice una máquina, la tuve que inventar porque no había, para hacer el proceso más corto de secado. Bueno, me tiré la pileta, funcionó, así que con eso pude hacer 20 planchas cada 3 días y lograr la gran demanda que tengo de emprendedores que están ávidos de nuevos materiales y bueno, veo esto como una oportunidad para Argentina, para Sudamérica, una oportunidad de industria, que acá, por lo menos en mi ciudad, no hay mucho trabajo, entonces veo una oportunidad global de poder aprovechar ese recurso que es la basura, es el desecho, que nadie ve, para poder aplicarlo en un producto vendible y además ayudar al medio ambiente y en todo ese proceso que no contamine.
Fashion items with recycled plastic, and you can kind of see the process, so they really go from the raw material, from the plastic bags, to the sheets that they create with the machines that they have, and then from those textiles that they create the fashion items, which they then sell. Yeah, and so when Paula asked us or invited us to speak at the webinar, there was one question that was prominent, and this question is, are youths into circular models? And as much as we would like to make you believe that it's that youths fancy the trend of circular models, we believe that there is more and more this acknowledgement that being into circular models is not just a trend or a fad, but it's really about making livelihoods in the future possible. And yeah, there's many climate justice movements like Fridays for Future, the global movement, and many other youths who are in different ways involved in bringing about sustainability and circularity, by really understanding that it is the only way forward. And so I think there's also big urgency behind it. And so for us, when we got familiar with circular models, we came soon to the realization that circular models, creating circular models always means interacting with complex systems and different stakeholders. And this is by efficient collaboration between different countries, but also different generations and different societal stakeholders is crucial. And this means also fundamentally then exiting this ego-driven way of operating that has brought us to the brink of existence, if you will. And in the next slide, we will go into the collective and the individual dimensions of the value of collaboration. Mm-hmm.
So as we believe that like collaboration we really try to, from our experience, to think of why is it the case, and why do we need the transition, and just like also the collaboration with HxN and con nosotros en Conserve, throughout our 3 years of studies, we have also been involved in many projects since we are a University of Applied Sciences. And there are actually 3 main learnings that we have gained through these collaborations in regards to the collective dimensions that we believe are of value. And first of these, we really think that collective impact is through collaboration is often higher than the sum of individual efforts. And that is really something we try to touch upon, that seeing that working as a collective makes us stronger and makes us create even better and more efficient and more quality transition to circular economy. And then second of these was really to touch on the people first, which is empathizing. And there is an undeniable irrational level involved in collaboration, from which, by understanding the others, you can also better understand the complexity of the systems. And the third of these is really dreaming. And this is also something we've really learned, that, for example, as soon as we dive into the topic of plastic waste management in this project, we started to see actual possibilities to build a circular economy, whereas before sometimes it seemed a bit less reachable because we were not really engaged into that field. So
and then with this, there is also, if we go to the next slide, in a collaboration, there's also inherently a value that you gain in the individual dimension. And from our experiences, we also try to highlight 3 of these, which make us then advocate for this collaborative approach for a circular economy. And the first one is really the cross-cultural learnings. So in our project right now, we have an NGO in Argentina, an NGO in India, and all of us who are from different countries. And this project really widened our worldviews and it enhanced our cultural learnings. And we believe that to be very, very important so that this transition, we go into this transition with being culturally sensitive. And so to ensure that inclusiveness as well. Then the second one is really about confidence. So just giving my own experience, before I started the studies and I was engaged in these collaborations, I really thought I was underqualified to even be in such a webinar as today or to engage in discussions with other change makers. And after these experiences, I really learned that I am enough and that I have a voice I can bring to the table and that I can make an impact without being an expert, right? And then the third one goes more that to collaboratively create systemic change and to achieve the SDGs, we believe there is an intrinsic work of self-reflection and inner growth that has to happen. And this it's quite a bigger discussion out there, and there's the inner development goals if you're interested. They explain it quite thoroughly. But these three were main learnings that we believe make collaboration such valuable also in an individual dimension and not just collective.
One of the things we should take from here is we are citizens of the world. Problem is ours, all of us, each one of us. It doesn't matter where you are right now. And that you are enough and I am enough. And we can do things, small things from whatever is and whenever is that we are sending. I think that is really important. That is, for example, what Rocío has done. So Rocío